For quite a few years now I've taken an interest in family history, and like many people I have somebody on the family tree who perished in the First World War. My great uncle Tom Cunnington. His name was Tom, wasn't Thomas, but he was christened and born as Tom, and he died in 1917, 31st of July, the first morning of the 3-month Passchendaele offensive. His body, like many others, was lost, and his name therefore recorded on the Menin Gate at Ypres. I knew his name, I knew his dates on the family tree, and that's all I knew. I'd never seen his face. But then a strange thing happened, one of those things that is like a genealogist's dream. In 2001 I was in receipt of a phone message from someone I'd never met, a guy called Sam, who happens to be a World War I historian and a graphic designer, and his message said, "I have a photograph of your great uncle Tom in which you might be interested." Sam had tracked me down via a Cunnington family history website as the only relative, distant relative of Tom Cunnington that he could find. And not long before Tom had died in 1917, he'd had a photograph of himself in uniform, looking rather battle-weary, taken in a little French studio near the front during some time off, and he'd sent it home to his sister. And at some point over the years it got lost, and from whoever's family archives it was in, it was sold to an antique shop without realising its enormous family history value, and I'd never seen it. But Sam, this World War I historian, found it in the shop and was immediately taken by the image of this weary-looking soldier. And so he researched everything he could about Tom and his wartime service and wrote it up in a very lavishly illustrated book, The Search for Tom Cunnington. And then at the end of it, Sam felt that the postcard had been sent to family and it should be returned to family. And so he tracked me down. He gave a talk all about Tom at his local Western Front Association, which I attended with my dad, and then at the end of the talk Sam gave us the postcard, the face of Tom, that had been sent home probably in 1917. The face of Tom that I had never before seen. And this is it. And it's one of my most treasured and prized possessions. And on the reverse, written in a rather scrawly hand, a weary looking hand in pencil, is a very brief message. "Dear sister," and it concludes, "Best love to you all. I remain affectionate brother Tom." How this came to me and came to us, and the fantastically detailed story that Sam wrote that accompanies it, is like a minor miracle, something you could never imagine would happen. And then fast forward to the centenary of Tom's passing, the centenary of the Battle of Passchendaele in 2017, and there was a special concert put on at Lincoln Cathedral by the Coldstream Guards, and their leader and conductor had written a special new piece of music simply entitled Passchendaele, and it was thought appropriate that while this was being played, they would be projected onto large screens flanking the nave of the cathedral all the way down one side and the other. Appropriate images relating to Passchendaele, including, if possible, some images of Lincolnshire men who had perished in the Passchendaele offensive. And somehow I was contacted and Tom's image was put up in the cathedral, 10 feet tall as it were, 100 years on, all from this little postcard that could so easily have been lost forever, but has been restored to his family, and his face has been restored to his family, his face has been restored to memory. Could he have ever imagined that when he wrote this little card 100 years before, that the image of his face would end up being projected on huge screens in Lincoln Cathedral in front of an audience of 900 people, and a special new piece of music played brilliantly and movingly by the Coldstream Guards, along with a poem that one of the bandsmen had specially written to accompany the piece. And when the piece concluded, and I was among that number of 900 in the audience, the conductor said that he would like to make a little presentation of a DVD copy of this new piece of music to members of the families of those who were specifically remembered and their images projected, only about 5 or 6 of us. And without my foreknowledge, in front of 900 people, I was asked to go forward and receive a copy of this little DVD of the music with Tom's face and image attached. And if ever those words, "we will remember them," proved true and profound and resonate so deeply, it's in the story of Tom. He is remembered. He died young, not quite 26, but his memory is treasured, and now he is more than just a name and dates. We see his face.
I left my home for Flanders fields, to where the poppies sway, to go and fight for those I love, to stand with men so brave. But now I'm lost beneath the ground, my body still to find. All that remains now is my name, at Tynecott, Passchendaele. So now I wait in Flanders fields, above the poppies sway, a silent witness of a time that denied me of old age. I sacrifice my future hopes, pray say it's not in vain. My name amongst the legions lost at Tynecott, Passchendaele. should you come to Flanders fields on which the poppies sway, gaze upon the Vale of Souls, remember why we came. Do not forget what happened here. We gave you your today, our countless names of sacrifice at Tynecott, Passchendaele.